Welcome to Twisted Truths. People love Lake Norman. If you've ever been there, it's easy to understand why. It's North Carolina's largest man-made lake. Over 500 miles of shoreline, busy marinas, expensive waterfront homes. Every summer, thousands of people head there to fish, ski, swim, or simply watch the sun disappear behind the water. To almost everyone, it's just another beautiful lake. But lakes don't usually have history. This one does. Long before boats floated across its surface, there were roads, neighborhoods, churches, schools. An entire community once stood where the deepest parts of the lake are today. When the dam was built, the valley was intentionally flooded. Families packed up. Homes were abandoned. Buildings were demolished. At least, that's what the official story says. If you spend enough time talking to people who have lived around the lake their entire lives, you begin hearing a different version. One that always begins with the same sentence: the lake takes people. Not storms, accidents, or bad decisions. The lake itself. Many of the victims weren't inexperienced swimmers. Some had spent decades on the water. Others disappeared while wearing life jackets. Some vanished only a few feet away from family members. Some were never recovered at all. There wasn't just one unusual accident. There were dozens spread across decades, almost always explained away, and almost always forgotten, until the next one happened. The more I read, the stranger everything became. Old newspaper articles rarely agreed with each other. One described a fisherman disappearing without a sound. Another reported divers searching for 3 days, only to recover nothing. One family insisted their father had simply slipped beneath calm water, without struggling. No splash, no cries for help, nothing. Almost as though someone or something had pulled him straight down. I eventually found some old surveys from before the lake existed. The outlines of streets were still there, even the locations of churches, schools, entire neighborhoods. It suddenly became obvious. Thousands of people spend their weekends floating directly above a forgotten town without ever realizing it. That thought stayed with me for weeks. Eventually, curiosity won. I borrowed a friend's boat, not because I believed the stories, because I wanted to prove they weren't true. The GPS guided me toward what had once been the center of the old village. The deeper I traveled, the quieter everything became. The usual sounds disappeared. No birds, no distant engines. Even the wind seemed to stop. The lake became unnaturally still. It didn't feel peaceful. It felt like the entire place was listening. The fish finder began showing something impossible. Perfect straight lines, right angles, long uninterrupted shapes stretching beneath the boat. Roads, foundations, the remains of a town, hidden beneath nearly 100 feet of water. For several minutes, I simply stared, trying to imagine children once riding bicycles where my boat now floated, trying to imagine front porches, backyards, birthday parties, all buried beneath the surface. Then I noticed something. The sonar wasn't just drawing buildings anymore. Small shapes appeared, clustered together, standing still, almost like people. I refreshed the screen. They disappeared. I convinced myself it had been some kind of interference, until the engine died. The silence felt heavy. I turned the key to restart the engine. Nothing. Tried again. Still nothing. The electronics remained on, only the engine wouldn't start. I checked my phone. No signal. For some reason, that bothered me more than the engine. Then, something struck the bottom of the boat. One deliberate impact. Several seconds later, another, then another, each one stronger than the last. as though something below had realized I was directly above it. Against every instinct, I looked over the side. The water was unusually clear, far clearer than Lake Norman had ever been. I could see rooftops, stone walls, a church steeple leaning sideways beneath the water. Then I saw movement. It wasn't fish, not shadows. People, standing perfectly still in the streets below, looking upward. Every one of them. Their faces were impossible to make out. But somehow, I knew they were looking directly at me. The engine started by itself. I don't remember turning the key. I only remember leaving. I don't remember how fast I drove back. I don't remember loading the boat. I only remember promising myself I'd never return. Months later, another drowning appeared on the local news. Experienced swimmer in good health. A life jacket was recovered, but the body was never found. The location flashed briefly across the screen. I froze. It was exactly where my engine had stopped, where I'd looked into the water, where I'd seen the village. I don't tell people this story very often because I know how it sounds. But I still can't explain one thing. When I got home that afternoon, I reviewed the GPS track from the boat. It showed every turn I had made across the lake, except for 12 minutes. 12 entire minutes simply missing, as though the boat had never existed, or had been somewhere it wasn't supposed to be. Sometimes I wonder what happened during those missing minutes, but then I remember something else. When I looked into the water, those people weren't waving. They weren't trying to scare me. They were reaching upward, like they were trying to hand someone back. And I've often wondered if they were trying to return the last person who disappeared, or waiting for the next one.